Hi, I'm Johnny from ultimatepapermache.com, and today I'm going to do a demonstration on painting a dog's eye on a paper mache sculpture. This isn't instant. It definitely takes some time because there's a lot of layers of color and they each have to dry. But it is rather easy to do, and you end up with a very realistic sculpted and painted eye. A lot of people have asked me if I'm using glass eyes just because this is so realistic. So let me go ahead and show you how this is done. For this project, I'm going to use a number of transparent layers of color, and between all of the color layers I'm going to use this stuff. It's soft gel gloss. For colors, I'm using yellow ochre, raw sienna, burnt umber, cerulean blue, cadmium red light, white, and black. And again, I'm going to be using this soft gel medium in between all of the layers. I'm going to be painting on this model of a dog's eye that I made. This is molded paper mache. Depending on the type of material that you used, you may have more or less detail, and it may be larger or smaller. Obviously, dog's eyes are as varied as human eyes, so you want to use a photograph for a model, or your own dog if he'll stand still long enough. And what I'm going to start first with is the yellow ochre. I'm putting this on fairly thinly. It's been mixed with water to make sure that it's transparent. I want the white to show through. And because it's transparent and because I'm putting it on so thinly, you can see that it's got quite a lot of variation already, and that's what we're looking for. So now I'm just giving it a nice thin coat of the gel medium. This will seal the yellow, and it will let the browner colors kind of float over it, which makes it rather interesting. Now that the gel medium is dry, I'm going to work on this corner of the eye. Some dogs' eyes will have a lot more white showing. So again, go ahead and look at photographs to make sure that you're getting a likeness of your dog. I've mixed up the cerulean blue and some white along with some of the burnt umber, and this makes a nice light gray. I'm just going to put that right there in that corner. And then I'm going to pick up just the tiniest bit of that cadmium red. It's got to be a little lighter than that. I'm mixing it in again to gray it down a little bit. I'm just going to put that right down there at the bottom. Now, since I'm not going to be working on that part, I don't need it to dry yet. I'm going to be working on my next layer of transparent color for the eye, and that's going to be the raw sienna. Mixing it with a little bit of water to make sure that it's transparent, and I'm trying to make sure that there's not a whole lot loaded on the brush. Now you can see, because of that gel medium, it's just kind of sliding over there, and it's allowing a lot of the yellow to show through. That's what we want. Trying to get it a little bit even. I'm going to let this dry, give it another coat of gel medium, and then we're going to go ahead and give him his pupil. Now I'm going to use some black to fill in the shape of the pupil. Now I've put a real fine line here also in the black, right between the iris and the corner of the eye. And now that we have the black and the last layer of gel all dry, I'm going to keep on moving towards the darker end of my brown, this time using the burnt sienna, which is a beautiful red brown. Now I'm going to put on a final layer of color. I'm using the burnt umber. Now if your dog's eyes are even darker than this, what you would simply do is come back again with more layers of the burnt umber. For the ring around the eye, the dark area right around the edges, I'm going to mix some burnt umber with brown to make a really nice warm brown. And then I'm going to mix it with this acrylic glazing liquid. This will keep it from drying just long enough so that I can actually pull it back off again on everything except for the edges. I've got the black and brown mixed together with the acrylic glazing liquid and a little bit of water to thin it out. And I've got a paper towel, a little bit damp on one end and dry on the other. I put just a little bit of it around the pupil in order to make that black a little bit fuzzy around the edges, because it's not really, how do we say, it isn't really a crisp line when you look at a dog's eyes. Now I'm going to put it around the edges, and again I'm going to be pulling it off again. It's darkening the eye just a little bit. I'm going to take my smaller brush just to get this a little bit darker right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that highlight on there right now. I'm mixing up a little bit more white with a little bit of this cerulean blue just to make a very, very light blue. And then for no reason whatsoever, I always like to put just one touch of pure white, very small spot. That's just a stylistic thing. So that's how you can make a very realistic dog's eye on a sculpture. One thing you can do to make this even more realistic is use a matte varnish on the fur part of your sculpture, and then use a very glossy varnish or even fingernail polish, if you don't mind the smell, just on the eye itself, and that'll really make it wet looking, makes it really realistic. So I hope you enjoyed it. Come visit us, ultimatepapermache.com.